Some people are really fucked up. There's no denying that. Some people are really fucked up. And I don't mean that they're mean or bad people. I think most people who are all fucked up in the way that I'm talking about are. But I'm saying they've been abused, they've been raped and oppressed in, you know, in many definitions of those words. And it's even arguable that's all of us, you know. But it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to say we're all infinitely abused. It's hard to say we're all enslaved. That's fine. But some people are particularly fucked. Some people are particularly beaten down, and you wanna put everything on the fault of other people. I think that's fine. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I think that living with a sense of personal responsibility is not only good but crucial. But you can't really blame anyone at all for the state that they're in when that state is bad, and for that reason, you really can't ignore the fortune of your own life if you're not one of those people who are truly all fucked. Now, what I want to say about this video, getting a little meta here about my own content, my own thoughts, about the things that I've said. I know that I'm overtly, blatantly cynical, and I don't intend to defend against that. I'm truly a cynic. I'm not pessimistic. I know those words are often used synonymously, but I'm not pessimistic. I'm extremely optimistic. I think being realistic, though, will always require aspects of cynicism, just as well as it'll require aspects of optimism, and just as well as it'll lead you to divine perfection in your own human form. Reality, what I'm saying, is twisted. That doesn't mean that you should be twisted. So I know that I'm very cynical. I know that the content on here is extremely cynical. I know it borders on and sometimes even blends into being accusatory and assailable towards certain people, towards certain groups, and that's a scrutiny that I've got to be willing to accept and move forward with, because it's too unavoidable. These videos are long enough as is. They'd each be 4 hours long if I had to defend against every potential blemish of my own ostensible animosity towards the world at large. I have no animosity, but I can't avoid that. I can't avoid the seeming animosity that I have. So that's fine. But this one is going to be then uncharacteristically empathic, uncharacteristically forgiving compared to the stuff that I have recorded. When it comes to being fucked up in the way that I described, as in you've really been beaten down and destroyed and turned into something else because of that, turned into something that you otherwise shouldn't be or wouldn't be, it initiates a self-perpetuated, cycle of remaining fucked up, fucking yourself up worse, and just sending yourself into like the bleakest points of hell. When I was just walking to my car outside of my apartments on this apartment block, someone had their window open and was having a very emotional phone call loudly. I could hear it clearly. And they were talking about PTSD and getting punched in the head and just all this crazy shit. And I just had this thought of like, if you're like in some situation with people who are bringing that kind of that extent of drama into your life, I mean that's actual drama. This isn't drama in the way we typically use it in the modern age. I mean that's true. Those are dramatic situations that like you can't fucking be around those people, and it's insane to think that separating from those types of personalities is difficult. It would be insane to not realize that right outside of your own totally savage and demonic social circle, that there's like just a wealth of like good people who are loyal and kind, and even if they don't like you, they're never going to hurt you. Like that is virtually all of society. I actually believe that. I really do, man. All I see are people who are good people. All I see are people who want connection, who want love, who want goodness. Even the most sociopathic, find Christ and give themselves over to benefiting the world at large. I'm not saying there aren't bad people. I'm just saying that's not the natural tendency of humanity, because the natural tendency of humanity is peace, love, and unity. It couldn't not be. It has to be, because it's humanity. And so hearing people talk about things like that, I can't help but have this initial blame on them for like putting themselves in circumstances continuously, constantly, where they're fucking themselves up by being around those they shouldn't be around, by being around things they shouldn't be around. But here's the thing, man. People who are like that because they got all fucked up. Like, who's gonna willingly just travel to the depths of hell and stay there? And even if they do it willingly, what well-to-do, rational, like unabused person would do that? No one. And so that's the thing. That's all I really want to talk about in this video, is like, you have to realize that the world is made up of a lot of fucked up people, but they're fucked up in two ways simultaneously. They're fucked up as in they're shitty assholes who will fucking, stab you in the back and curse your name and never be anything of a good friend. True toxicity. But they're also, every one of those people is also fucked up in another way, which is that they are abused to some extent just by the nature of living in this world, and extremely likely, virtually all of them, to another extent, which is that they've been deeply, personally, like individually, directly abused by other people, okay? You have to realize that. Now, a thing I often do in these videos, and this one's going to be no different, is that I make my point and then I add one little addendum to it. That's not to change the point that I've made. It's just to kind of actually leave you with something to take with you. And that's this. People who are mentally, socially, spiritually well, they're not going to, like, hurt you, right? And so I'm not saying that because, like, now go with all the spiritually well people. I mean, you probably should try to associate with good people. It's not really an effort. That's kind of just an automatic product of, like, getting yourself right. Okay, so that's not really my advice here. My advice, and this is more of a hard, fast rule. I mean, this is a law of societal existence that you have to follow. You have to learn to follow this social law, and here it is. You have to learn this. This is like learning arithmetic before you can learn the other maths. Like, this is fucking extremely important, even necessary. Okay. When people do shitty things, you can't take that personally. When people do bad things to you, you cannot take it personally. You cannot. It's not personal. It's them. Okay? People who are all right don't do that. Okay? They don't do that. And people who are all right then don't get reactive and defensive when they have disrespect done to them. Okay? Whenever someone gets at you and you get back at them, you're just doing what they're doing. It's not like, oh, I'm now in the right to be an asshole because they were an asshole. Because if that was the case, then they're right to be an asshole because people, or just the world at large, has been an asshole to them. Spiritually well people don't do that. All right? High-minded, ascended people don't do that. Okay? So I guess I'll just put this little bow on it. I'll make this very personal for me to tie off this video. I get that a lot of what I say sounds condescending, sounds pretentious, maybe even overly intellectual, as much as I try, God knows I try to avoid sounding like that, okay? I know that. And I should almost certainly start taking measures to correct that. That's fine. What I'll say, okay, is that your approach to the world with love does not involve you being an asshole. You approach every single individual with empathy. Every single one. And when they do fucked up shit to you, it's absolutely their responsibility to get that right. They've been an asshole to you by their own will. It's not okay. You don't excuse it. There's no excusing here. You don't really blame them. You know what I mean? You don't, in the biggest way, in the highest way, you don't really blame them. You feel me? It's not really their fault.